You are now listening to the NYYST.
Welcome back. This is episode 197 of the NYYST podcast. I am your host, Christian, and I'm joined by my co-host, Chris.
Yo.
And it's Stat Guy Rye.
What up?
You're too fucking chipper, Ryan. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Fucking chipper, dude. I'm not Chipper Jones.
You should just stick your hand in a wood chipper.
Everyone
I
can
would.
fuck themselves at this point.
If it meant the Yankees were playing tonight, I'd stick my hand in a fucking wood chipper.
I'm drinking Monster Energy because it's just sugar and caffeine because I want to die during this episode today.
Yeah, I ate so much food last night. Not feeling good today. Just trying to get through this weekend in one piece.
You got the Tyler Wades?
Yeah, I got the tea weights.
I drank
coffee.
I drank
Coffee's not gonna help, but who cares? I want to feel miserable.
I drank a lot of Jack Daniels last night. I just felt it was part of the grieving process.
Mm-hmm. Just straight up Jack, or you mixing it? Or
I got to mix it.
I'm just fucking at this point.
I didn't even bother giving Chris a rundown on the fucking show today because I don't feel like this show needs any structure today. I don't feel like that there should be any topics that we have to hit.
Yeah.
I just think that unfortunately now this is the fourth fucking season. We got to do our Yankee fan therapy episode following another. Look, I don't want to say 2017 was a bitter disappointment because they really came out of nowhere. They took it to the Game 7 of the ALCS. But the last 3 years have just ended in bitter disappointment. And for anybody that wanted to say that this wasn't a real season, tell me how you feel after they lost Friday night. Did it not really feel like a real season to you?
No.
It felt like a real fucking season to me that now we got to wait until February to see a New York Yankee do anything baseball related.
I think that it didn't hurt as bad. Not the actual sense of them losing. I just meant, and I said this from the beginning, that watching 162 games over however many months, what is it, 6 months, and then them losing, there's just an extra layer to the hurt where that layer wasn't there, but the actual layer of them not fucking winning again was there in full force. It hurt just as bad in that sense where it's a disgrace. I mean, I
agree though that it wasn't that same connection because they played 100 less games than they normally would. The connection that I felt familiar with was the fact that we lost to a division rival. So that made it feel worse that they lost, especially with the history that they have with the Tampa Bay Rays. There's really no other team, I guess, besides Houston that they have so much recent history with. And the guy they have the recent history with had to be the guy to do it, to hit the, put that dagger in them. So I guess that in that sense, it felt real. It felt the pain was there. That same feeling that I felt the last 3 years was right back, which looking back on that though, I'm kind of glad that I still felt that though, because I wasn't sure if I was going to react that way, win or lose, but that same fucking feeling came right back when that line drive out was caught to end the Yankee season.
I understand what both of you are saying about the not playing 162. So there's kind of maybe a little bit of a detachment. But for me, it was because they didn't play 162, because we had to wait until the end of July. It's just think about something that you're waiting for and anticipating and hoping that it happens. And then right before you're waiting for it to happen, they take it from you for 3 months. And then you don't know that if it's going to come back, and then it finally does. And then you're just like, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for. I'll take, you try to rationalize with yourself. I'll take 60 if it means that I get baseball. Because now we're here. What was opening day? The 23rd this year of July. I mean, that opening day should have been like March 28th or something like that. So it's just the anticipation just built even further. The only thing that did kind of take away some of the sting was that it happened at fucking Petco Park and not at Yankee Stadium or not at the Trop. It's just like, it was just a surreal vibe that they got knocked out at the home of the fucking Padres and they weren't even playing the Padres. I mean, that if anything took away a little bit of the sting, because God, if they would have fucking ended their season at that fucking dumpster, I might have crawled into one. Like it's the only thing that kind of took away from some of the sting, is that it was Petco Park and not they lost again at home or they lost again at Tampa. It was fucking Petco Park. But I don't know, man. Like I'm just exhausted. It's still the cops are patrolling my neighborhood, so if I disappear, you know why.
Pop.
So I'm just exhausted, man. Like this season, it did take the same type of toll on me emotionally that 162 did, because the way this team performed, it was just like, if they would have just ran roughshod and did what the Rays did and win 40 games in the regular season, it would have been okay. There's no stress involved in 60 games. So, you know, you're really not building up any stress until you hit October. But we've seen how they struggled and how streaky they were this year. And you really were sitting when they were up in Buffalo playing against the Jays, thinking when they were 21-21, thinking that this team might not make the postseason this year.
Yeah, I mean,
and it really took a 10-game winning streak after that to get them into the postseason. And then they turned around and they won, 2 out of their last 8, where they really look, they took care of business in Cleveland, right? So where they seeded, did it really hurt them? I don't know, because they won their opening round, but it took them out of playing at Yankee Stadium in that first round and avoiding the Rays until, which would have been the ALCS. You know, and in a 7-game series, would things be different? Who's to say? But we don't know. We don't know. And who's to say? And I know it's a neutral site, but who's to say things are not different if the Yankees are the home team in that series and getting the last at bat? It's just the way that they performed in a regular season that, you know, you were hoping that they could turn the switch on, and they did the same thing in the postseason that they did in the regular season. They won 3 in a row. They came out looking like the best team in Major League Baseball, that no one was going to beat them, that they beat Bieber, Carrasco, and Snell, 3 elite pitchers. And then what happened? We'll get into game 2, because that's really one of the few things I really want to break down from the series. I don't want to really spend a lot of time on the series because they lost. They lost. In this series, this episode is more about leaving our fucking guts as fans on the table and just purging it. And then next week, we can get on to what this means and where we're going from here. But this is just about just dumping your guts on the table today. And then what? And then what happened? They lost 3 of the last 4 games of the year. This is the same shit they did all fucking season long. Streaky. That's what this team was this year.
Well, I think I'm glad you brought that up, because I think there's different layers to this fucking onion that we have to peel back here. And the first layer is the fact that I almost can't live with knowing that this team just wasn't any good. Like, when was this team? At what point could you look back and just overall say this was a really good team that fell short?
16-6?
No, even at that, though, they proved they weren't that team, right? They came out and they lost 10 in a row.
Yeah, but are you saying overall throughout the
overall,
season?
I'm saying
or at given points? At given points, they did look like the best team in Major League Baseball.
I'm saying overall, though. I'm saying,
of course not. They're home right now, so they obviously.
No. I'm saying in the regular season, when you look at what happened in the postseason, you're almost like, yeah, this was expected. I mean, the Yankees never proved to be a championship caliber team. They look at the big picture of the 60 games they played. Not at the conclusion of those 60 games, you would actually sit there and say it would be more of it would be more unexpected for them to win the World Series than we had thought. Even with the injuries, you would think coming into the postseason, this team was going to be hands down the team to do it. And not one person in this world can look at their regular season and say, yeah, this was a championship caliber team. No, they sucked. They were fucking disappointing. They were disappointing from day one until now.
Well, I mean, look, their first 23 games, there were 22 games, they did look like a team, but yeah, overall, I think it was a group of good performances. I think there were some great performances in there, but as far as being a team and complementing one another, they're really outside of those first 22 games, man. They're like, when was it like one guy did something and then it's like, then the next guy comes up and feeds off of that energy. It was
all
more of
streaks.
individual. Yes. It was very individualized performance.
The way they ran through Toronto when they were on that 10-game winning streak. Did you ever see anything like that in your life before?
Mm-mm.
But it just came down to streaks. It came down to streaks.
Yeah.
This team was never consistent throughout the entire course of this season, whether it be the 60-game regular season or the postseason, because they showed you again in the postseason how streaky they were.
I think that analysis of this team is completely accurate, but I also think it's the only narrative that's being pushed. I want to know why. I want to know why this team is nonstop streaky and who's to blame. Everyone wants to fucking blame home run hitters, right? Everyone wants to sit there and say you can't construct a lineup like this, right? Where was DJ LeMahieu the last game? Is he a home run hitter? I mean,
are we really going to blame DJ LeMahieu for the Yankees losing?
No, that's what I'm saying. Everyone is just so quick, right? Because we just want to take the easiest thing we could fucking say. We want to take the easiest thing, right? The easiest fucking thing that everyone can say is that Cashman constructed an awful lineup that all they want to do is hit home runs, right? That's all anyone can fucking say. Because
can I just interrupt you for one quick second?
What?
Because as far as I know, I think at the rate, and this might be back to Thursday, at the rate that I saw, I think the teams are winning at a 90% clip when they out homer the other team in the postseason.
Right. So at what point, and look, you said it yourself, we're going to break down game 2. And in game 2, those are things that we can start looking at a managerial level, whether it be Cashman or Boone, that's fine. But when are we going to start holding players accountable and saying that if they perform to their best ability, which is what they did for the first 3 games of this postseason, this team is the best in baseball? So you can't sit there and say that this team is the best in baseball and then also tell me that when they don't perform, it's not their fault, that it's the GM's fault. Because is DJ LeMahieu a home run hitter? Where was he in game 5? If this is about being home run hitters and not producing and being streaky, then why was DJ LeMahieu streaky? He's not a home run hitter.
He hit a slump at the worst possible time.
But what my point is, they just didn't show up. They never show up. That is not on the GM. Maybe it's on the manager. I don't know.
So if you're putting blame on DJ LeMahieu for not showing up in the last 3 games, are we letting him go somewhere else in 2021?
No, never. He exemplifies a New York Yankee.
But I understand your point. I really do. That DJ LeMahieu is not a home run hitter. He's your one real contact guy in the lineup.
He also
in the last 3 games of this series, he didn't do anything. He didn't. Yeah. We have to be fair about it. But again, he's a guy that's carried this fucking team for 2 years.
Listen,
I can't get on him for not performing at a high level for 3 games.
I'm not getting on him one bit. I'm just using him as an example to prove my point that everyone wants to blame the construction of this lineup and that this fails, that this does not win championships. My point is, if DJ LeMahieu is your best hitter and he doesn't show up for 3 games and he's not a home run hitter, maybe it's not the home run hitter. Right? Maybe it's not the lineup that's being constructed. Maybe it's something else. I'm sick of the narrative that this type of lineup doesn't win. You want to know fucking why? Because it does win. They beat the 3 best pitchers in Major League Baseball. It does win.
And they had Glasnow on they really did a good job against Glasnow. I don't care what TBS had to say about his performance. He gave 4 fucking runs in 5 innings. I don't care if he made all the outs were on strikeouts. That's not a good performance, especially in the postseason.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What was Tanaka's line the next night? Because he certainly wasn't good.
I don't know off the top of my head. He stunk.
Okay. Let me just pull it up real quick. Okay. Because I believe they both went the same amount of innings. I believe they both went to what did he pitch Thursday?
Tanaka pitched
Wednesday.
in game 3, so that would have been Wednesday.
Okay.
I will say though, Tyler Glasnow's game 5 performance that took a lot of guts. But
Okay.
but
I have a lot of
agree.
respect for what
Mm-hmm.
now did in game 5.
No,
Absolutely.
yeah, and I'm not saying you didn't, but I completely agree.
Here, I got
they were
Tanaka
talking
here.
about, like,
Yeah,
he threw a gem.
5 earned runs in 4 innings pitch. How many innings did Glasnow pitch?
In game 2, Glasnow pitched 5 innings.
5, yeah.
Oh, 4+, I think.
4.
Wait. No, he got into the 6th. He pitched 5 innings, gave up 4 runs.
Right.
But
So
they're saying
he was dominant. They said he was brilliant. They literally said he was brilliant, and that Tanaka sucked. I mean, we're talking about 1 run in 1 inning at this point. And I'm not saying that. Look, when you're a major league pitcher in the postseason, the difference there is that Glasnow left with a lead and Tanaka didn't. And at the end of the day, that's all it takes to be effective. And I'm not saying Glasnow wasn't good. And I'm not saying that his shit wasn't much better than Tanaka's. All I'm saying is let's not give the guy that much praise. He left the game with a 7+ ERA at that point.
What's kind of you want me to throw it in there?
No, go,
I mean,
go,
I'm
go.
all over the place though, so it's not like it's not even about.
This is what the show's going to be. So if anybody's listening to the show for structure and
you're right.
In a
I'm just
rundown like we
thinking,
usually do, you're listening to the wrong fucking show.
I'm just thinking about like fucking the one guy too that if you had a guess, or just if you wanted to write down a player who you count on the most to come through and you didn't have to worry about, that player was Masahiro Tanaka, and he just wasn't that number 2 in this series.
We'll talk about this again later in the show, but I got the next 3 weeks of shows lined up already. Joe Rivera's coming back next week. He wrote a really good column on the Sporting News, so go check that out. Follow him at Joe Rivera SN. About where the Yankees are headed in the postseason. So we're going to spend next week breaking that down with Joe. And then the following 2 weeks are going to be our Keep 'em Dump 'em segments. I'm going to break down the roster.
Wow.
I'm going to come up with 20 names. We're not going to do everybody, but I'm going to come up with 20 names, which will include Cashman and Boone, because it's fair that we have to talk about whether or not those two should be back in 2021. And we'll do 10 names week 1, and we'll do 10 names week 2. And then that'll be our next 3 weeks of shows.
Do you remember doing Keep 'em Dump 'em last year? And we said how this year was going to be like a real good Keep 'em Dump 'em. I'm pretty pumped for the Keep 'em Dumps.
Yeah.
I just want to dump everyone except for fucking.
Yeah. Right now. Yeah. It's Cole. And then I'm taking a dump.
Like,
and
fucking,
I think we really need to, because before the postseason started, I didn't think anybody was going to argue, at least in this show, was going to argue whether or not we wanted Masahiro Tanaka back in 2021. Now, I mean, the one thing we always hung our hat on was playoff Tanaka, and he was non-existent this year.
Yeah.
Non-existent.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to miss the fuck out of him, dude.
And now there's reports coming out of, I'm sorry, Chris, now there's reports coming out of Japan that his former team, the Rakuten Eagles, are going to offer him $25 million a year to pitch, which
quadruples
in Japan, the highest paid player is making $6 million a year. So
I believe his wife is a pop star too out there too. So
yeah, she's a huge K-pop star. Yeah,
for the family.
She's K-poppers.
Well, now she's just. Oh yeah, she's just maybe, but I don't know if she's Japanese or if she's.
Oh yeah,
I don't know. I'm not trying to be racist. I don't know. If she's she's a K-pop star.
And
I don't know if go ahead.
But she's big. She's big.
No,
like,
she's like
she's
a Taylor
our
Swift over there.
Yeah, she really is. So for family reasons, that might make sense. And then for Tanaka, I mean, you're not making that in America right now.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, that's just a crazy amount.
Yeah, I'd go. What?
Well,
maybe they need me over there, Sakai. Right? They need Sakai.
Tanaka is going to leave this team as one of my favorite players, really, in the last decade. I mean,
same here.
You gotta love. This is a guy who doesn't speak any English.
No, he speaks English.
Come on, dude, shut the fuck up.
He speaks English.
He doesn't tweet in English. He doesn't do interviews in English, Christian. He says like a few fucking words in English to his teammates. I'm saying me.
That doesn't mean that.
Okay. You're right, but that makes sense then, though.
You
Yeah,
haven't heard him speak English.
To the
Yes,
public eye, he doesn't
Right.
speak English. But
I
yeah,
haven't
maybe
connected with him through. There's been a language barrier in our connection as fans, which is fine.
Okay.
I'm just saying that this is a guy who, to me, I've never heard him speak and truly understood what he was trying to convey.
But haven't you been on WFN when he's like, "This is Masahiro Tanaka. You're listening to Yankee baseball."
Yeah, I have, and I love it. And I just got to say that for a guy to have such a language barrier with people, but still connect in a way of personality. We all know Masahiro Tanaka's personality. He's a freaking goofball who knows how to take shit seriously and is never satisfied.
Damn, man.
I know that through Masahiro Tanaka, and that takes a lot to do that with a language barrier there. And I'm going to fucking miss this guy, but I'm sorry. He brings zero value to the New York Yankees anymore, because the one thing he brought over the last few years that was unlike anything else that made him invaluable was no longer there this year.
I can't disagree with that. And we can get Masahiro Tanaka will absolutely be one of the 20 players on the Keep 'em Dump 'em segment. So we'll break that down a lot further when we get to him in a couple of weeks. We'll just leave that there. Really, I mean, do you really want to get into game 2 right now? Is that what we should just get out of the way?
Yeah, man. Look, it's the biggest turning point in postseason play for the Yankees that I can honestly remember. I've never seen or even thought up anything so fucking asinine in my entire life.
No, the word is fucking stupid.
Yeah, Christian, you have a good memory with this. Do you have anything that you could think of off the top of your head that
where they pulled this
reminds you of that
something this astronomically stupid in the postseason? No, I cannot think of anything off the top of my head other than maybe starting fucking Jared Wright in an elimination game back in 2006 or something like that.
I knew you'd have something good for me.
But this is Jared Wright was one of their 4 starters. So I mean, like, yeah, I guess I can deal with that. But no, this was absolutely hands down, no defending it. I don't care who you are. Chris always busts my balls. I'm the Yankee apologist. I never will take a shot at anybody, blah, 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 blah. There's no defending this. This is on a level of stupidity that I don't think I can fathom. Really can't fathom it from somebody as smart as Brian Cashman and his fucking nerds that they came up with this shit. I'm sorry. I can't. Like, it's just, look.
Before you say anything else, I want to ask you a question, because I think it sets the tone for anything else we're going to say. Do you feel, regardless of who came up with this, okay, whether it be Cashman, Boone, whoever, do you feel that this was stupid enough on a certain level that this person should lose their job? I mean, regardless of who it is, unless it was Hal Steinbrenner himself, do you think that this person deserves to lose? I'm not saying they're going to lose their job. I'm not asking you to analyze whether they will lose their job. I'm saying to you, is this a fireable offense? Whoever came up with this idea.
If I'm Hal, man, I got to really think about this.
You got to really think about it, right? Like, you got to sit there and be like, who the fuck? And then, like, Boone and Cashman could be at a table together, like, with their heads down. And it's got to be Hal Steinbrenner. Like, I don't know which one of you motherfuckers came up with this idea. But I need to know. I need to know who the fuck came up with this idea, because guess what? Whoever did can pack their bags and get the hell out of here.
Yeah, well, we're going to take full responsibility here. And, it might not have been my decision personally, but, we have a lot of guys here that we employ that have certain numbers and by the books. And, it looked like there that maybe J. Happ by the books and the numbers and the books and then Davey, the lack of experience. Just fucking come on, man. You can't have J. Happ virtually become your game 2 starter, Brian Cashman. Come on, dude.
I mean,
I would have absolutely no problem. I mean, J-Hap fucking sucks. He sucks. He fucking sucks. When we had Dan Federico on previewing the postseason, I used this analogy and it fucking came true again. Ding, ding, ding. I got into a fight with somebody over taking bows about being right about negativity. And I'm going to fucking contradict myself here, but hey, you know what? It's J-Hap. So I'm going to What did I say
Depends
about
on
Jay?
what the negative.
And how about negativity?
it's
Speaking of negativity, the fucking Hap being a douchebag to Luke Voigt on that one
Oh,
play
no.
too in that game.
Oh,
Like,
we're
what are
gonna
you
get
doing?
into that. We're gonna get into fucking J Hap. J Hap's gonna feel the wrath on
That
this.
pissed
one.
me off.
And,
I missed this.
and what did I say? I said Hap is your cheating girlfriend. He's your cheating girlfriend that you look at it and you fucking breaks your heart all the time, and then you say, no, this is the time. This is the one.
He's
this
different.
Is it now.
He's different this time.
She's different this time. And you go on a streak of maybe a month.
There's no more long balls.
Where you're just like, oh, things are good. All that's behind us. And then you turn around, you turn your back for 1 minute, and she's
out at a fucking bar.
She's
till
sucking
3 in
some
the
dude
morning.
behind the fucking 7-Eleven, and you want to talk about blowing. J fucking Hap blew in
fucking
game 2.
Suck. You suck. You're a piece of garbage.
Really. And then he's got to act like a fucking asshole in the post game where I think Meredith asked him, hey, do you think you were put in a position to win? That's not a question for me to answer. Yeah, first of all, it is, you idiot. And number two, you just fucking did this in the ALCS last year where you actually pitched pretty well. So don't be a fucking asshole now.
Yeah.
You fucking suck. You suck. That's all it comes down to. You're garbage. And I saw somebody tweet that this was Brian Cashman's worst move as Yankee GM. I would rank him maybe in the top 5. I
Wait, what? The move what? To get him
on the team, not to
no,
make the start.
Wasn't. Shut the fuck up, whoever said that. Honestly, I will fight that. As much as I hate J Hap, if you don't have him on this team a couple seasons ago, you're not. I mean, you're probably not as taken as seriously as they were.
In 2018, making a trade for him, I think we can maybe make an argument that I don't know if we can make an argument because they won 100 games, but do they get to 100 without J Hap in 2018?
No way. The guy was great for them, and they needed him.
But re-signing him to a $34 million contract.
But guys, we're taking it out of context. If first of all, J Hap is supposed to be your 5th starter. What was his ERA this year? In the 3s? No, it was in the 3s.
It was like 3 something. Yeah,
okay. Right. We're taking it out of context now because his ERA was in the 3s. He's supposed to be our 5th starter. I understand we all hate J Hap. I'm not telling you not to. I fucking hate his guts and I think he sucks. Why? Because he didn't show up to the big game. But regardless of that, to be my 5th starter, to sign him to what they did, to be my 5th starter and have Garrett Cole on this team that's supposed to be followed by Luis Severino and James Paxton at this point, and instead is followed by nothing, is not the GM's fault.
Chris, you're making a few points today that I'm just like, I'm not on board at the beginning. And then you say something. And that makes total sense. You got to consider Paxton Severino not being there.
But isn't it again, Cashman's fault that there's nothing standing behind? There's nothing standing behind fucking Garrett Cole.
Domingo Germán too.
Okay. Bro, they fucking knew there was something wrong with Severino in the ALCS last year.
Okay.
They knew it. They knew it, Chris.
We got to kind of break this down too, in a sense of, okay. So I should have said, you can't blame Brian Cashman for signing J Hap because at the time he signed J Hap, he's not supposed to be this guy who's supposed to come in and save your fucking season.
Chris, how many times in the last 3 years have we said, well, if CC's fine, if he's our 5th starter, and then he's your number 2.
I know.
J Hap is fine if he's our 5th starter, but then he turns out to not be our 5th starter.
You're taking a point that's supposed to be here, and now we're exploding it when I'm getting there. Don't worry. Okay. My point is now we have to break this down from a different level. So let's not break this down from Brian Cashman's a piece of shit for signing J Hap. When he signed J Hap, I don't think it was a bad deal. And if you look at J Hap's numbers as a 5th starter, you'd sign him every fucking year of his life if he's going to give you that as a 5th starter. Now, you want to talk about the incompetence of Brian Cashman to provide depth for a team that can't stay healthy. Now we can have a different conversation because I'm sick of the narrative. I'm sick of the excuse that they didn't know they weren't going to have days off in the postseason. And if they did know that before the trade deadline, the Yankees would have gotten someone. I'm sorry. At this point, you knew Adam Ottavino sucked a dick. right? At this point, you knew that Luis Severino was hurt. At this point, you knew that James Paxton wasn't coming back. Make a move. There's no excuse. At this point, you knew Tommy Kahnle was hurt. I mean, at this point, you have to make a move here. And I'm not saying Cashman didn't try, but give me something. Every year, you can't just say there's no move. Give me something. Give me something at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what was on the table for him. He said that 3 teams walked away from deals at the last minute. Was anybody going to be a game changer? Probably not. I mean, Mike Clevenger got traded and he subsequently got hurt in San Diego. So, I mean, would that have happened in New York and he would have traded all those prospects away? I mean, I don't know, man. And we know that Cleveland really would have never been in a hurry to fucking help the Yankees, especially since they played them in the postseason. So, I mean, what really was out there that would really change this team's fate?
And listen, at the end of the day, I don't think any of that really changes the team's fate. But I think that people have to start being held accountable for everything as a big picture. At the end of the day, when we're talking about changing the team's fate, in this instance, if you're not going to just directly say the team stops showing up, then you have to look at game 2 all day, every day, because that changed the tone of this series. Whether they won or lost that game, it had nothing to do with it. It was about the tone of the series at that point. The tone.
All right, let me ask you this.
Let
me ask you guys this. Yankees lose game 2, but they went traditionally. Hap goes 4 innings, gives up 10 runs. They get bombed. Do you feel differently? You think you think that it all comes down to the fact that they got too fucking cute for their own good? That they really showed that they were afraid of the Tampa Rays.
100%. That was it. That was it. You are the New York fucking Yankees, right? Which I can't even say anymore. I can't even say it anymore. Who cares that you're the New York Yankees? You're a fucking joke. Yeah. You're a joke. Okay? But at this point, you're the New York Yankees. Not only are you the New York Yankees, but you've won in dominant fashion for 3 fucking games in a row. 3 in a row. And you come out looking scared with a fucking stupid move. Oh, hold on. Maybe he's going to flip his lineup over because Big Bad J Happ is coming into the game. What? If I'm Kevin Cash, I'm literally sitting there going,
laughing.
Did you see Cash in-game interview? Did you see Cash's in-game interview when they asked him about it?
He just laughed the whole time. Did he just sit there from 6 fucking feet away and laugh? Is that what he did?
He wanted to so bad. When Lawyer Shahadi asked him, like, what did you think about Jay Happ? He was like,
he couldn't even talk.
It was like the one time in his life where he wasn't being an asshole, but he wanted to be so bad.
If you had Garcia come out for an inning, right?
I don't think that. Hold on. I don't think. Go ahead.
Fucking pull him, and you see Boone scurrying in the dugout, and then all of a sudden the outfield doors open, and fucking Randy Johnson in his prime comes out, and he's like fucking just slow walking to the mound. Then if you're the Rays, you're like, oh fuck, this is Randy Johnson in his prime, walking to the mound, sweating already, and he's gonna fucking destroy us. No, you're looking at fucking, honestly, fucking J Happ. Are you out of your fucking mind?
I think that to me is the worst part of this move, is that it was done to get J Happ into the game. Tell me that you were doing it to get Jordan Montgomery into the game. I'm more okay with it. I'm more okay with it. Would you be more, be honest though, would you be more okay? Not that it's still a good move. It still fucking sucks.
At the time, no. I'll be honest. At the time, I was so fucking pissed. I didn't care who was coming in that they were pulling Davy Garcia. I thought it was so wrong to do, regardless of the 1 run he gave up. And I was a little nervous from that. It was his game to lose for me. I thought that he was the best option at that point.
No, I think so too. I don't think there's any question that he would have been the best option. I would have rather gotten bombed with Davy Garcia on the mound and lost that game 12-1 than what happened.
Absolutely. And then you know what? You chalk it up to, look, the kid didn't have it. He was
21 years old. It was his first postseason start. Whatever, dude. We fucking first of all, I'll tell you this. The way they set this series up was fucked from jump for me, because they wanted to pitch Tanaka in game 2. Regardless of the outcome of what happened in game 3 and the way Tanaka pitched, who's your second best starter on this team?
Hey, listen, I don't know what
is it.
I don't know what road is going down right here.
Yes.
You fucking supported the game 3. You supported it. I saved the text. I'll send them out. I'll publish them on Twitter. You asked me. You supported it every fucking step of the way.
You did.
You asked me why they would start Tanaka in game 3, and I gave you the reasons why they would start Tanaka in game 3. I never said I was on fucking board with it. I just gave you the reasons why they would do it.
What you're feeling, I don't care. I know the fucking reasonings. We talk about this all the time.
And don't ask me what the reasons are. Ask me how I fucking feel about it.
Why would they do this? I mean, like, why are they this fucking dumb? That's what I mean. Like, why do they think that these reasonings are better than just having your second best pitcher out there? Which, you know what? You sent those reasonings and there wasn't much to argue. I mean, if people do their jobs, and you can honestly say, like, if playoffs
justified it,
show up, it did justify it. But at the same time, you're sitting there and the Yankees, it's not like the Yankees at this point were on this, like, win one, lose one, win one, lose. It was like fucking win. Let's do this fucking Garcia Hap deal, and then let's try and win again. I mean, come on, dude.
What bothers you too is that they were on such a roll, and usually, you know, I guess I'm okay with getting cute in the playoffs, but you really only do that when you're struggling.
That's
and
what I'm saying.
You define your identity. But they had their identity. They were the Bronx Bombers. They were pitching well.
Right. You didn't have to do this. If you got into a game 3 or game 4 situation where you didn't have a fucking starter and you had to do this, fine. I can.
Right. Even if it was if it was the next round, but no, not here.
But you had Tanaka ready to fucking go. And Boone's reasoning for why they did this was fucking dumb too, because he said, well, we had to split up Cole and Tanaka because we felt that they were the two guys that were going to give us length.
I didn't mind.
You didn't mind it, but Chris, they have such a quick hook with Tanaka. He wasn't going deeper than 6 innings. You would have been in the fucking bullpen anyway.
It was a strategy move, no doubt about it, man. It was trying to out-cute the cutest team in baseball, and that's the Tampa Bay Rays. They're 3 steps ahead, bro. Always.
What's the fucking object of the postseason? What's the object? Just give me the
win
fucking
the World
simplest
Series.
To win.
To have right to win. Who gives you the best fucking opportunity to win the game, to win the series? Starting Garrett fucking Cole and starting Masahiro Tanaka. That's your best opportunity to win the series. And the Yankees didn't even fucking give themselves the best opportunity to win the series before it even fucking started.
Here's game level proof of the Yankees game 2 strategy being fucking asinine. And I'm going to use that word over and over because it describes a lot.
You also just learned it, so you want to show it off.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so in game 5,
why was Boone going to guys like Britton and Chapman a little early? Because you wanna use those bullets before you can't, right? You want to use those bullets, your best bullets, your strongest fucking caliber bullets, before it doesn't make sense anymore, before that game gets away from you. The same thing goes for a series for me. Why would you not use your best bullets as early as you possibly can? Why are you waiting to use those bullets? And it's just like, again, at this point, it wasn't like the Yankees were streaky. It wasn't like they went 3 games against Cleveland and just pulled it out. And then it's not like they lost game 1 to the Rays and now we're trying to get cute a little bit. It was win, win, win in dominant fashion. Dominant. And then you get cute. And then you run the risk of Masahiro Tanaka coming out and not being effective. And guess what the fuck happened? He ran out and he wasn't effective. And now it's set you up to, I mean, Jordan Montgomery, we don't have to break down, like you said, any of the series really, but Jordan,
you owe him an apology.
I apologized already.
Yeah, you fucking do, Chris.
No, I absolutely do. I 100%. But in fairness to me, I said regardless of outcome, that would be my move because I don't like to make judgments based off of outcome. I like to make judgments based off of going into it and what I would feel. So I said, regardless of outcome, And I put a tweet underneath my tweet that said, I think Jordan Montgomery is more than capable of being effective. It's not about that. For me, it was this kid deserved the ball in Davy Garcia. I pulled it from him, and he's my best option in an elimination game. But guess what? That part of it is what I was wrong about, because Jordan Montgomery stepped up and he was fucking phenomenal. And the Yankees pulled it out, and you were like, holy shit. At this point, you're like, holy shit, maybe they do it.
Can I say my most disappointing part of this series, I think, or my most disappointing move was the use of one player, Jonathan Loaisiga. Sorry. You caught me before I was ready to stop. I'm not even, you can't sit here and say Jonathan Loaisiga sucks. He really blew it, because why, in what world did Jonathan Loaisiga show that he was the guy for that? Was it just like put names in a hat and say, all right, these guys are
really
very...
want to know the answer? If I have to get into Boone,
what do you think the answer to that is?
Pure stuff. He had the best stuff out of anybody in the pure stuff.
Yeah.
Who would have given you the best opportunity out of the remaining guys? If you take away Green, Britton, and Chapman, out of the remaining guys in that bullpen, who has the best stuff?
Okay.
So then wait, hold on. Let me just say one more thing then. Then this is another season where another player that just popped in my head again screws them by not being there, and that's Domingo Germán, because that would have been a perfect spot. He would have been perfect for this. He would have been perfect season again.
He would have been perfect.
I'll give you. I understand your point, but he was never a part of this team this year. The guy in that bullpen.
I know.
The guy in that bullpen that fucked them more than anybody was Adam Ottavino.
You're right.
That he turned into a big pile of shit, and that Aaron Boone could not trust him to strike out.
He's getting paid too.
The fucking fat catcher from the Sandlot. Okay, he couldn't even trust him to get that guy out, and that's what. And I said this, bro. You think about it like this: what team out there in Major League Baseball, outside of maybe the Rays, can give you Green, Chapman, and Britton and trot that out to end the game? It's very. I mean, maybe outside of the Rays, maybe I can't think of anybody off the top of my head, right? And they were still short and they were still short in their bullpen. They were still short in their bullpen.
I need to say something. You can Chris. You can break down the usage of J-Lo in the series two ways. One is on a general manager level, where you can say exactly what Christian said and say he's got the best stuff after Green. There is such a massive drop off after Green. It's disgusting. And when you're just looking at stuff at that point, it's Jonathan Loaisiga. It's not even close.
All right. Now I could agree with that. So that's stuff. But now what I said, let's get back to that, which was what did you show? What did you show that you qualify for that? And the answer to that question, if there's a player to pick, would have been my boy Luis Cessa. He earned that right these last 2 years to be that guy there, man. I'm telling you. If it was between those two righties.
Here's where I'm going to argue with you a little bit.
Go for it.
Because now it's the breakdown of the managerial level, not general managerial. Now we're just looking in-game managerial level. And for me, you're right, Ryan, the concept of what have you given me? But for me, it's not Luis Cessa at that point. It's fucking Jonathan Holder, which I never thought I'd say. But the dude was fucking filthy this year.
You're right. I was saying more of that, like,
comparing the two.
Right. Because it seemed like they were going to a long reliever there, or I don't know. I guess not.
If you had to look at it.
I'm pulling up Jonathan Holder's numbers real quick.
Pull out the top three guys in the bullpen.
Yeah, Holder. I bet you Holder's pretty frustrated with how he was used in this postseason, because he was really underused. He did it to
himself, because he has sucked for the majority of his career.
Right, but did they have anybody else?
So
Loaisiga was jumped them.
To be fair, I guess Holder did fall off more than I thought at the end of because his ERA was really low. For a while, but his last 2 out of 3 starts in the regular season, he gave up 8 earned runs out of the 12 he gave up all year. Okay. So 8 of the 12 earned runs he had came in the last 3 games, but up until that point, up until those last 3 appearances, Jonathan Holder had a 2.08 ERA. He ended the season with a 4.98.
Okay.
Look, I don't trust anybody in that bullpen really outside of Green and Britton. I don't even trust Chapman anymore, which again, he's another guy we're going to break down in depth when we do.
Oh, big time, dude.
When we do keep him, dump him, we're definitely going to dive into the role as Chapman. But you take the top three guys out of the bullpen, I would have to say Holder's the guy I would feel, not that you feel comfortable is the wrong word because you don't, but he's the guy I would probably feel the most comfortable with out there.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
To be fair to Ryan's point too, I think I'd even feel much more comfortable with Luis Cessa than I would Jonathan Loaisiga. And I'm not saying that Jonathan Loaisiga isn't going to be a good pitcher.
No, he's not. I've seen enough. I know.
You think you're done now? You think he's done?
Maybe not in New York. I don't know if he has it for New York, but
Yeah,
maybe a team like Pittsburgh. He can go on.
No, you're right.
But all right. So in that context,
let me just finish this point real quick, bro.
Go for it.
He'll never be more than a middle relief guy that shows flashes of how great he could be because he's as good as his stuff is. I think he's afraid on the mound. And that manifests itself in the fact that he walks a lot of guys. He doesn't throw as many strikes as you would like out of a guy with his stuff. I think he's scared out there. And that I could be way off base, but that's what my eyes tell me. And I know that, I'm old, so the eye test doesn't count in baseball anymore. I have to look at analytics. But you know what? Fuck you. My eyes tell me that I see a guy out there that doesn't trust his fucking stuff. And he's got 95 plus and a killer curveball, and he doesn't trust it. So he'll never be a great reliever, in my opinion. So that's just the way I feel about him. So if the Yankees want to put him in a package and send him fucking somewhere else next year, I'm not going to cry about it. I'll probably help him drive him to the airport.
Yeah.
I'll tag along for the ride if you need some company, but yeah, just
turn this fan on. Hold on a second.
My last point with Loaisiga, it's maybe not necessarily that exact instance, but it seemed like in the pecking order of things, not only was he ahead of Holder, but he was ahead of Luis Cessa, and I don't think he really earned that right, other than Christian's point of it being simply he has the best stuff, but when you don't have the mindset and you can't. You don't believe in your stuff, then what good is that stuff?
For me, I've learned this about myself, especially in the last year or so. If you can justify your reasoning to a fair extent, like when I was so pissed when Tanaka wasn't pitching game 2, and then Christian sent his fucking Yankee apologist text to us, and I was like, you know what, dude, I'm still angry and I don't agree with it, but I get it. I get it. Okay. So I wasn't going to argue it. What bothers me most is when I just can't make sense of certain things that just have no justification behind them. And when I say that regarding Jonathan Loaisiga, it's why is he in this game? And then to make it worse, it's why is he still in this game? That's where Boone really frustrated me in this postseason. And the guy does it every year now. I mean, I still support Boone. I still like Boone, but I see a different side of it now where I gave the guy a couple of years and it's like, you're managing scared still. And again, I don't know where it comes from. I know that a lot of this, if not most of this, comes from up top. I get that, Christian. We fought about it on Twitter, the game 2 decisions. But when my manager is coming out there, and I'll pull the fucking audio for you if you need me to, for when we were talking about, I forget what it was. Oh, about Gary Sanchez and Cole pitching to him and them saying he's just saying that to blah, blah, blah. And us saying, well, he said it. This is evidence. This is the proof that he thinks Gary's a good catcher or works hard or whatnot. Well, the same thing has to be said with the game 2 decision. Our manager came out there, whether he's paid to do this or not, and he said it was left up to me and I could have left Garcia out there, but I didn't. I need to blame him for that until someone else comes out and says, no, it was me.
Well, you know what? Brian Cashman did speak after game 2 when he fucking dropped all that shit right on fucking Aaron Boone's feet. So I guess we have no other else to blame than
and you know what? Boone. See ya. And you know how much I love Aaron Boone. Get the fuck out. See ya. I don't care if it was Aaron Judge who came up with that game plan, and they were like, "Hey, Judge, we're gonna let you go with this one. What do you think we should do with Davey?" And he was like, "Hey guys, honestly, let's get cute. Let's go Davey for one, and then fucking Hap coming in as a lefty.
Ooh.
It's J Hap, guys, a lefty. It's gonna switch."
The only thing that keeps me from putting this 100% at Boone's feet is how quickly they had Hap up warming up in the bullpen. He didn't even watch what Davey Garcia was doing, and he had Hap up up already. So it didn't matter what Garcia did. That was the plan that they came up with before the game started, that Hap was coming in the second.
I agree with that, but what if it was Boone at that point, at that level, just saying, look, I know I'm supposed to be looking at what Garcia is doing, but I really like this move regardless because it saves me Garcia. What if that's his thought process during the game? And that's why. I don't think just the fact that he had this game plan lined up already makes it that it was already set in stone. I think it could still be on Aaron Boone in game to make that move and to have Hap up right away. And let me tell you something. If that was truly Aaron Boone, he is not fit for this team. That was one of the most catastrophic decisions in the history of the Yankees postseason.
And then you could say, if you want to even say that, then, you know, is he the manager for this team if he's not making that move because it's such a bad move? And how do you still maintain that respect in the locker room if you're not the one making those big impactful decisions? I would lose my respect for Aaron Boone.
Well, look,
in a lot of ways.
I think the players know what the situation is now.
Yeah, I think that at the end,
for sure,
the rational way to look at this is the way that we usually go into things and saying, who else is out there that's going to be better, right? Because at this point, even if it was Aaron Boone, you know that Cashman laid the fucking breadcrumbs out that it was pretty much probably a fucking death threat. It was like, hey, Aaron, it's up to you.
But
if you don't go to J-Hap in the second
#, Boone's fault.
See ya.
I know it led
to that.
I know the fans want blood.
And they deserve it, though. They deserve blood.
But Buck Showalter's not walking in the door.
Right.
Joe Girardi's not coming. And now everybody's,
I miss Joe.
Right? If Brian Cashman sits down this week, next week, whatever, and decides that he's got to move on from Aaron Boone, who's he bringing in?
Exactly.
It's got to be a guy named Joe, though, because that seems to be like the only one that could win a World Series for this team. So
fine. Go find some nondescript fucking bench coach or first base coach or name Joe.
Joe. Fuck him. Fuck his name.
Yeah, Joe Boone.
Hey, Joe.
Joe Boone.
Hey, Joe. Who cares?
You know what I think? I think with Boone this year, something did feel off, and I think a part of it had to be the COVID restrictions of having face guards covering the mouth with the gator, not being able to interact with the umpire. Because what really made me, at least, start to really like Aaron Boone was that Savages in the Box whole rampage he went on, and it showed his connection and his passion for this team and how much he wants to win. And there was just no room for that this year to be able to do that. But Chris, you kept saying over and over again in that series, Aaron Boone needs to get tossed right now when the umpires were doing a terrible job, and he didn't take that next step to sort of fire this team up. In that
I get
sense.
that, but in the postseason, I don't know if you're going to go run out there like that.
You just said
no.
That.
No,
you are. You absolutely fucking are, dude.
Yeah, when you need
when
that fuel,
you're making calls as bad as CB Buckner is, you're getting tossed from that fucking game.
I'm sorry. Let me tell you something. Let me fucking tell you something right now. That was an embarrassment. Embarrassment is actually an understatement to Major League Baseball. An embarrassment. I would be embarrassed if I'm CB Buckner. I would be embarrassed if I'm Rob Manfred. Why is CB Buckner umpiring that game? Why? Why is he behind the plate?
I have no idea.
Yeah, you do. I mean, come on. It's all bullshit at this point. I'm really fucking sick of it. And it's fucking incompetence. His incompetence cost this team a fucking game.
No, CB Buckner was not behind the plate in Game 3. That was Mark Carlson.
What
That's
game,
when the
what game was he
umpiring.
behind?
I believe he was in Game 2
Yeah, that was a good one.
because Mark Carlson
That
was
was
the
good.
umpire in Game 3.
So hold on. Are you telling me that if a competent umpire wasn't behind the plate, that the Yankees couldn't have won that game?
In Game 2?
Yes.
No, I don't think the umpiring
Oh,
was
you
that
didn't
big of
think
a
so.
deal in Game. Not in Game 2.
I'll tell you where the umpire was a big deal, and it was all player level. It was all player level. The Rays capitalized on the incompetence of CB Buckner. They capitalized on it. They were smart. They did not throw pitches in the zone. The Yankees constantly, one after the other, continued to throw strikes in the strike.
You're looking at the wrong game. I'm telling you, because Game 3 is when the umpiring directly affected the outcome of the
I
game.
understand that, but it also
Nobody's
Okay.
Nobody's
What was the
saying that
score?
CB Buckner is where they lose 7-5 in Game 2. Was
Yes.
that the final?
Yeah, they could have won that fucking game. It
Yeah, I
does
don't-
affect the overall game, Christian, when every single batter is getting the fucking bat taken out of their hands. When you're calling a strike on Gleyber Torres when the ball is 5 feet up and out.
Yeah, it was bad. I'm not saying that it wasn't, but I
You
also
took a
don't
team-
think the
No,
umpiring.
it did, because you took a team that's number one strength going into Game 2 was their patience at the plate, and you fucking stripped them of it. You stripped them of their approach. You can't sit here and tell me it didn't affect the game.
I can
You
absolutely
stripped a
tell you
team
that.
that was doing
I
great.
can
at their
absolutely
approach
tell
at
you
the plate.
that.
No, give me a fucking break, seriously.
No,
Give me a
no,
break.
give you.
I'm not telling you the Yankees lost because of CB Buckner. All I'm telling you is it could have affected the entire series after that because you took away the one strength that this team normally doesn't have in the postseason.
Right, because
Did
the
they
game
look?
wasn't fucking.
Hold on. Did they look good at the plate after that game? Really? Did they look fucking lost after that game?
Who knows if that had anything to do with the umpiring?
Well, you just said it didn't, right? You just said in confidence, you were confident that had nothing to do with the outcome of the game.
I don't think the Yankees lost because of the umpiring in Game 2. No, I don't.
No, they lost because they didn't take advantage of the shitty umpiring.
They lost because
and then I think
that game was lost from the moment they brought Jay Happ into the game. Okay. And then I watched it. I don't know if you watched every.
You can't have that kind of umpiring in a fucking level of a Game 2 like that. You just can't.
Sure, fine, you can. I'm not disagreeing with you on that, but I'm also telling you that they didn't lose the game because of CB Buckner. You want to say they lost the game in fucking Game 3 because of the umpiring? I'm with you 100% because that fucking guy directly caused at least a 4-run swing in that game.
Can I ask you about this?
I don't think
Because when we
CB
go to
Buckner
replay-
caused. Let's no be quiet for a second now, because I don't think CB Buckner caused any type of swing run wise in the game that would have cost the Yankees runs.
I just
or
fucked
gave
up their
the
approach. That's all. Fucked up their approach for the rest of the series.
Okay, but yeah, their approach for the rest of the series. Did Mark Carlson call a blatant fucking ball 4 that would have walked in another run and given their hottest hitter a swing with the bases loaded, a strike? Did he do that? Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I didn't.
Did
mind
he?
it, though.
You didn't mind it.
I didn't mind that call. I thought it was
Yeah,
on the outside corner, right?
I think you. No, the ball was down.
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe I got to look
Middle,
at it again.
middle down.
The ball was down. The ball was
And
middle
that
down.
would have been ball 4.
That would have been ball 4.
And instead
Would
it
have given the
strike
Yankees
2?
a second run. No, it was. I believe was it 3-0.
Strike
Ryan?
1. Yeah, that was a
strike
3-0
one. It
count.
was 3-0.
Then even the strike 2 pitch, it was closer, but it was still debatable
Closer.
too. It was closer.
I kind of remember it now. Yeah.
Still
Okay.
looked more like a ball to me.
So the Yankees have a second run on the board with Giancarlo Stanton up with the bases loaded. Now tell me, in the course of this series, who you would rather have up than Giancarlo Stanton to bust this game open?
No one.
Okay, so he not only took the run off the board for the Yankees, took their hottest hitter, the bat out of his hands with the bases loaded, then missed strike 3 on what would have resulted in a fucking strike him out, throw him out, double play. And what happened on the very next pitch? Game's over because Kiermaier hits one in the seats.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
That's where the umpiring. If you want to say the umpiring cost the Yankees anything in this series, it was in Game 3.
It was in both games 2 and 3. But
okay, you know what? I'm going to
directly-
let you die on that
directly-
hill because I'm tired of fucking
No,
arguing.
because I'm right though. You can't sit here, Christian, and look at CB Buckner's performance and say that it didn't cost both teams something. If you want to talk about direct calls that resulted directly in runs up for the other team, yes, you are correct. And here's my question. Because TBS is the most incompetent baseball programming broadcast I've ever fucking seen in my life.
You mean the Tampa Bay station?
Yeah, right.
Oh my God.
Tampa Bay station. Listen, dude.
Seriously, though, did their cameraman have a thing for G-Man Choi? Did he?
He must have.
Oh man.
He must have. And
Tampa
Anderson,
Bay station. Love that.
Anderson is fucking Brian Anderson's a fucking announcer.
Don't even fucking start me with him because I'm telling you
Fucking
right
loser.
now, somebody needs to fucking show him the video of when Kevin Cash used that line, stable of guys. It was not to something to pump his team up or anything. No,
it was
he made a fucking threat to the Yankees. How through a course of 5 games, nobody fucking taps you on the shoulder and says, "Hey, Brian, he was really threatening to the Yankees
hit them
with
in the
that
fucking
one
head, Brian.
to hit him in the fucking head, Brian. Maybe you should want to lay off that one." And then here's another one, right? Here's another one that I want to
Stable guys. That's all he kept
right.
saying.
When Britton was on the mound, I heard him reference a hamstring injury, and I could have sworn that he meant Chapman, right? He was talking about both pitchers, but Britton was on the mound, and Britton was on the IL with a hamstring injury this year. So I'm like, maybe he just misspoke. He meant to say Britton, but he said Chapman. And then Chapman's on the mound, and he said Chapman missed time this year with a fucking hamstring injury. Dude, he had fucking COVID, bro. How are you doing this series on a national level, and you don't know that the Yankees fucking closer had fucking coronavirus? How do you not know this? How do you not know this?
Be a poll. What was the most embarrassing part of the series? A would be the decision to go to Happen Game 2.
Well, that's a runaway win.
B, the TBS broadcast, and on every level, or C, the umpiring.
No, I mean it's a runaway game too.
So anyway, my point is when they finally did show the replay of the strike him out, throw him out, which I was fucking furious about when it first happened. I tweeted about it, but then I tweeted it. Then they showed the replay and it looked low. Like it looked like it was way out of the zone. And I corrected myself. I said I was wrong, but then people are showing me like screenshots of the strike
zone, and it was a strike.
And it was a strike. So which one was it? Was TBS trying to help the umpire at this point? Like, were they like, listen, dude, it should really be up here, but let's show the ball 3 feet low?
Look, everybody says that when you watch the postseason, you watch a national game, you feel that it's slanted against your team because you're, especially in baseball, because you're so used to day in and day out watching the game from your perspective, because your home announcers, Kay and Paul O'Neill and David Cohn, they're covering the game for Yankee fans, just like Gary, Keith, and Ron are covering the game for Met fans. Or Don Orsillo, I don't even know if he's still in Boston, and Jerry Remy covered the game for Red Sox fans, right? That's your home team. That's your home announcers. They're covering the stories that you want to hear about. Yeah, there might be a nice story on another team that they cover, but you don't really give a shit about that because they're in and out. You want to hear about your team. So naturally, when another, you're doing a national game and somebody else comes in and they have to talk about another team, you're like, oh, well, they hate the Yankees because they said this about the Rays, in which I find to be true a lot of the time, because I think Joe Buck does get a bad rap for that. But anybody that thinks that this fucking broadcast, this 5-game series wasn't slanted at least 80-20 in the direction of the Rays. And this is not salt because the Yankees lost. This is, if you don't think that this was slanted at least 80-20 in the Rays direction from the broadcast perspective, you're fucking stupid. You're dumber than the fucking decision to go to Jay Happen this series.
It was really frustrating. I mean, it was just so annoying. It was literally like, tweeted this too. They were like, minus the big home run where they're going to lose the game because of it, he was really brilliant.
Chris, that's what they said about Glasnow in game 2. Well, if he doesn't give up, if you take out the 3-run home run that he gave up to Giancarlo Stanton,
Yeah.
Sure, if Mariano Rivera doesn't give up that run in the fucking 2001 World Series,
Minus
we
that,
win. We win.
minus that blooper to Luis Gonzalez. Mariano really has another ring on his finger.
I mean, come on. And then I was sat there in awe in Game 5 because you would have been led to believe that the Yankees did not give a shit about this game at all. Did you ever see a shot of their dugout? Did you ever see them on the top step? Where
Never.
were they? Were they eating pizza in the fucking clubhouse during the
Never,
game?
not once. It was great.
man.
But there's
It's something
G-Man
that I
Choi.
noticed.
There's G-Man Choi. I see him between every fucking pitch.
Yeah, and they even showed him after he was out of the game with his sweatshirt.
No,
on.
they showed. That's when they really did it. When he came out of the game, I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me right now.
Yeah, wild.
All right, so is there anything else really between Game 2 and 3 that you want to talk about? Because I do want to talk about Game 5 before we just dump it all on the table here.
No.
All right, so Game 5, the decision to start Garrett Cole, you love it, right?
Absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
And
No,
What do you love
not a
more? The
question.
decision. First of all, it wasn't even a decision.
yeah.
It wasn't even a decision. Garrett Cole walked into his fucking manager's office and said, "Give me the ball."
Give me the ball.
And you want to talk about a booner for Boone? What would you call it? A chubby for Cole? A Coley for
Let me
Cole?
tell you something. Right now, my booner for Boone is so low
I got a Cole one.
that I'm saying full on rager at this point for Cole. I don't know what we're gonna call it, but
A
it's
Coley for Cole?
I don't know. We'll have to really think about it. But I mean, it's full on. It's beyond Chubb.
All right. So we're gonna go. We're just gonna talk about this real quick. Were you disappointed with Cole's performance in Game 5?
Absolutely not. I was disappointed with the.
But
decision
he only
to
went
fucking
5 in the third innings. He only went 5 in the third innings.
Listen, do you want to know when I knew the Yankees were going to lose this game?
When
And
Cole
I
came
knew.
out of it.
When they didn't take him out of this game with a lead. I mean, you have to be winning at that point.
All right, you had a problem when he got pulled.
100%. And I'll tell you why. It's not
Go ahead, because I'm going to
think-
disagree with you.
It's not because I think that Boone wasn't being a good manager at that point and seeing what he saw.
You want to lose with your ace on the mound?
It's not even. It's my ace wants to lose with him on the mound.
I
mean,
understand
he
that
fucking
100%.
has the ball and he's fucking fighting for the ball, and you don't have another guy like him. You don't fucking go against him when he's saying, no, get back in the dugout. I want to pitch. I don't give a fuck what let your player take the fall. He's your ace. He wants to be out there. I get it. Maybe wasn't the worst move at the time, but let him fucking run with it, dude. You don't have anyone else.
Look, I get it. I get where you're saying. That's your best player. That's probably your best option. Maybe it wasn't your best option, but he still wants the fucking ball. I have zero, and don't call me a fucking Yankee apologist because I'll fucking drive to your house and kill you. I'll murder you on Zoom. It'll go viral. But Garrett Cole worked his fucking ass off in was it the 5th inning where they really put great at bats on him, really made him spend a lot of energy. Gives up the home run it was the 5th inning he gave up the home run, right?
Okay.
So you see there's a little chink in the armor. They worked him. He gave up that run. Randy Arozarena hit a fucking home run. Brett Gardner took it back.
Okay.
In the 6th inning.
Okay.
And who's coming up? The guy that's fucking killed him for the entire season, G-Man Choi.
Okay.
I get it. I get why they took him out of the game.
I get it. I said I get
That's
it.
why I don't have a problem with it because of the situation. You just said you didn't like the move.
Yes, I think it was the wrong move simply based on the fact
that your ace is telling you no.
Yeah, but I don't think. But that's what I'm disagreeing with you. I don't think.
So you think it was the right move? Is what you're saying?
I think given the context around what was happening, yes, I think it was the right move.
Because you know that you could think a move is a bad move, but still think it's the right move. You understand that, right? This isn't about good or bad move. As far as the move is
I think it was a
concerned,
good move, and I think it was the right move.
I think it was a good move. I can't argue that it wouldn't be, but ultimately, when you want to look at how you should be managing this game, you're leaving it in the hands of your ace.
Yeah, sure,
And
but
for
I
me,
don't. I think
that's
it was,
where it becomes the wrong move.
I
The
don't have a
right
problem
move-
with it.
the right
I think
move
it was the right
is-
move, and I think it was a good move.
The right move is when you fucking botch game 2.
Is
at
to
this
fucking
point.
go fucking drown yourself in the Pacific Ocean.
Absolutely. And at this point, you have no right to then just say, "Oh, I know, Cole. I know, buddy. I know you want to still stay out here, but you know what? Boom, taking you out." No, fuck you, Boone. Fuck you. You have no right. Your fucking ace walked through the door. You tried to say, "Hi, Garrett," and he was like, "Hey, fuck you. Give me the ball." Right? Fuck you. Give me the ball. That's all he said.
No,
That's
didn't
all he
say fuck
fucking said.
you.
No, he might have. Okay, that's all
I'm
he
pretty sure
said.
it was just. I'm pretty sure he left out. The
Boone
fuck
was
you.
like, "How you feeling, dude? How's everything going?" And he was like, "Fuck you, give me the ball." That's all he fucking cared. And guess what? He didn't say a word to anyone else for the rest of the day. It was just "fuck you, give me the ball." He put his fucking headphones on, and that was it. When that happens, you do not take the ball from him until he says, "I'm done." I don't give a fuck. So for Boone, with the track record up to this point, fuck you for trying to take my ace out of the game. I'm sorry. You go until let him give up the next home run, then you pull him. But when he's telling you to get back in the dugout, he's still pitching. You're not pulling him. For what?
For Zach Britton.
Okay.
It's not like he brought in fucking Jonathan Loáisiga.
Okay. To what? To get quicker to Aroldis Chapman, who's been fucking really. Hold on. Let me give Chapman a fucking standing ovation. Seriously, let's fucking rush to get these guys in, just like we rushed to get Happ in the game, right? So where's your argument, dude?
Where's your argument? What did Chapman do the game before?
You know what? Put Garrett Cole in the outfield when you bring Britton in, so you can fucking bring him back in. You need Britton in that boy? Fine.
Now you're just being.
Oh yeah, I am being. I'm fucking making a mockery of it because that's what you're doing at this point.
I'm making a mockery of it because I agree with the fucking move.
Yeah. To what? So that we can rush to get Chapman in the game?
Did you not watch? Did you not watch Chapman the game previous? Did you not watch?
Who deserves to be in this game more than Garrett Cole? And who deserves who deserves the least amount of respect for making a move at this point?
Who?
If in fact Aaron Boone is the reason why J Happ was brought into that game too. I mean, come on.
So why do we even have a manager then at that point?
You tell me. Honestly, you tell me. If Aaron Boone is the reason why J Happ was in game 2, then he has no right going out there and pulling his ace.
Okay.
End of story.
It's not the end of the story.
We're talking game level here. We're not talking fucking analytics. We're not talking.
Did you watch the same game that I watched? Did you watch the same game that I watched?
Yeah, I did.
Because I felt that Garrett Cole was at the end of his rope right there.
He probably was. But I have
because of that, and the fact that G-Man Choi was up, and that he did give up a fucking home run,
dude.
And that he did give up a fucking home run that Brett Gardner took back. So you want to say let him give up the home run, but he did give up the fucking home run, and Brett Gardner saved him.
You managed scared, and you let the Rays know that G-Man Choi is better than Garrett Cole.
Great job. Scared because he watched Randy Arozarena put one in the fucking seats, Chris. That Brett Gardner took out. Okay.
Oh, G-Man Choi's coming up. Garrett Cole can't get him out. You know what? Let's make sure. Are we sure Higashioka's behind the plate? Because Garrett Cole can't get outs unless Higashioka's behind the plate. Okay, G-Man Choi's coming up. We got to go to the bullpen here. Seriously, guys. Come on. That ball almost went over the fence. I know, Garrett. I know you're fighting me right now, but I'm sorry. You are out of this game. You are no longer effective. You can no longer be good for us. Please leave the game. I need someone else to lose this game for us.
But you just made your point that you want to let him give up the home run to G-Man Choi.
Absolutely.
He did. He gave it up to Arozarena. It took Brett Gardner bringing it back into the fucking.
That was a play. That was a play made.
Okay.
That was a play made.
And so everybody's new hero, Clint Frazier,
you sound like
playing in fucking left field.
Minus the catch from Brett Gardner. That's a home run. You sound just like him. Should we give him a call? Should I tweet out to Brian Anderson? Minus Gardner actually making a play on the ball. Garrett Cole gave up a home run there.
But you're saying,
look, it looks like
home run. He did. No, it took a great play to fucking.
And the great play made.
Right. So if anybody else besides Brett Gardner's out there, that's the game right there.
It's not a bad move. It's the wrong move.
No, I disagree.
It
I
seemed
have no
like
issue with it.
seemed like these it seemed like these moves that we're now questioning, looking back on, can all be credited to analytics in baseball.
Oh yeah,
because you look at, there's three big moves that I could think of right now. You know, you look at the taking Cole out right there. They took him out because analytically he has terrible numbers against G-Man Choi in the past. Choi, if any player had his number this year, it was definitely Choi. Going with Happ in game 2, that was an analytic move. Let's flip this lineup around. Let's get a lefty in there to face, a left-handed lineup that they put out there. And then you look at game 5 in the 8th inning there. What do? They take out Higashioka and they put in the lefty Mike Ford.
Look,
because
you really
he's
want, you
a
really
left-handed bat.
You really want
man.
to say anything about Boone's managing in game 5. It's what the fuck are you doing?
And he was good up
to
that point, I thought.
What are you doing where you think that Mike Ford is your best fucking option in that
Christian,
situation?
Can I ask you something, Christian?
What?
Was Clint Frazier on the bench in that moment?
Yes.
Ryan.
So look, all right.
It's not even about
Gary
Clint
Sanchez
Frazier.
was also on the bench.
It's not even about Gary Sanchez. Is Kyle Higashioka not a better fucking hitter than Mike Ford?
Hold on. Can I just use a line from Christian at this point? Mike Ford is never the answer.
I said that about Jonathan NYYST.
You say it about everyone who's a fucking loser. Mike Ford is never the answer.
I get it.
Especially in game 5.
What was it,
the 8th inning?
In the 8th inning, yeah.
The numbers show that, yes, lefties do better against righties. But when your lefty is Mike Ford, then that's not true. It doesn't. That's not true. It doesn't work.
Who here has defended Gary Sanchez more than me? Right?
Yeah.
One.
The move is wrong. Just on the level of that, you took Higashioka out from behind the fucking plate. That's where the move is wrong. Even if you think that Mike Ford's going to hit 500 feet, the move is wrong because you're fucking with your defense at that point in a 1-1 game, in an elimination game.
Yeah,
I think it's fair.
I think my immediate tweet after I saw Mike Ford standing in the fucking batter's boxes, did Boone go and do a bunch of fucking cocaine in his office between innings?
Okay,
because you have to be fucking inebriated to think that was the right fucking move.
Wait, can we just give credit where credit's due for a second? Kyle Higashioka, I know he had some good moments, some big moments up at the plate, but I did not realize the caliber of defensive catcher that he was until this series. I thought he was absolutely, and I hate to feed into the Gary haters, but at this point, I don't blame you. I mean, fuck it. Kyle Higashioka.
I don't care anymore. Honestly, I don't.
Yeah, it's fuck it. Do you want to hate him? Hate him. I mean, I can't argue. But Kyle Higashioka really showed me the difference of a great catcher.
I don't want honestly, I don't want to spend the money on JT Realmuto because now you keep hearing that Hal really wants to be under the 210 this year, which is fucking stupid if you ask me. It really is, because you need to just open
you got to win a World Series, dude.
You got to open up the bank account and win this year. I'm sorry, you do in 2021. I think I went on Twitter. I definitely did. I went on Twitter live about an hour after the game ended on Friday, and I said the motto for game 2021 should be just get it done in 21. I don't care what that fucking means. Just get it done.
I thought
you have to.
Ev has his show on Saturdays on WFAN. I thought he made a great point. If you're the Yankees right now, what are you doing with Gary Sanchez? Let's be realistic for a second. His value's at an all-time low. Fans always want to trade these guys because they hate them. Well, why do you hate them? Because their fucking value is garbage. So Ev made a good point to sign a guy who's at least going to put some pressure on Gary behind the plate.
You know what? Fucking trade him. Honestly, I'm not being an asshole here. Fucking
for
trade
what,
him. Get whatever you can for him. I don't even care at this point. Honestly, you know I'm not an irrational type of guy. You know I've been a big supporter of Gary Sanchez. Just fucking trade him at this point. You showed absolutely no faith in him in the postseason this year. What are you expecting to get out of him next year? Nothing. I would not expect anything out of Gary Sanchez. Okay. So just trade him. Somebody will give you a nice prospect for him. You need to replenish the farm system a little bit. Maybe you can package him with, a young pitcher and get a more established starter back or whatever. You can do something. I'm sure you can do something. But go get a Mike Zunino type.
Yeah.
And pair him with Higashioka. I'm fine with that. Honestly, I'm fucking
fuck
fine
it.
with that.
I don't care. Here's what I want now. Just to hear the Yankee fans shut the fuck up. I just want defensive catchers. I don't even care. Just give me.
You know what? If Kyle Higashioka is going to play 100 games next year and he runs into 15 home runs, I don't care. Just you want to fill out the other 60 games with somebody that's got a little pop in their bat as a veteran presence behind there. Give me a younger version of Eric Kratz that can hit me 10 home runs. Fine. I'm all for it. Honestly, I love Gary. I really wish that it would work here for him, but I think I'm at a point right now, especially with the way the Yankees handled him, it's not going to work here.
Yeah.
I mean, and Higashioka blocked a lot of balls in that series. I mean, how many of those would Gary have let squeak by him?
Oh, so many.
So then you think about it. Well, you don't really see that many pitches like that when Gary's there. And then it's like, well, are the pitchers adjusting how they throw and how they approach because they're nervous to throw that ball in the dirt? So having a defensive catcher not only locks up the plate, but it may, as we saw with Garrett Cole, maybe it could even improve these pitchers. So yeah, I agree. We don't need another boomer bust guy. Let's get a defensive catcher because that's more important to this team behind the plate than someone that could hit home runs.
And I think that the conversation took us here, but again, Gary Sanchez, absolutely another spoiler, will be one of the 20 guys we dissect on Keep 'em, dump 'em. So let's just table that conversation for now. I did run a poll because I was getting texts from a friend of mine that Garrett Cole did not do his job, that he was a waste of money. Saturday morning, he texted me this.
Was that a Perini?
That was a Perini thing.
Oh, Jesus. I got to talk to him about that.
So I said, as a Yankees fan, were you satisfied? Easy for me to say. Were you satisfied with Garrett Cole's performance in the postseason? Please only take into account how he pitched and not the team's overall performance. What do you think that poll finished at?
I saw it. It was overwhelming.
96%. And it wasn't 10 people that voted. We were very close to having a scientific poll.
Scientific?
96% of people said, yes, I was satisfied with Garrett Cole's performance. But let me see if we could find a negative comment, because there was a couple of them here. Okay, let's find one here. Maybe you guys can just talk for a quick second.
I mean,
we're going to be done with this episode soon because we're running very long.
You know what? Thank you very much for sticking with us. This is our fan therapy session. So yeah, it's going to run a little bit long, but yeah, we are almost done. We're going to get to some fan comments. Okay, here we go. I'm not going to out this guy, but he tweeted to me on the poll. He goes, we paid him $300+ million to go 8 shutout innings. For what I got out of him, I would have rather signed Bumgarner and Hyun-Jin Ryu.
That's got to be fake.
No, it was real.
No.
I mean, 2 guys that Bumgarner lived up to his first 3 letters of his last name this year. And then you look at Ryu, put up the worst performance of the postseason by a starting pitcher.
Do you want to guess what Bumgarner's ERA was this year?
14.
Probably in the 5s.
It was 6.48.
Oh, it was in the 6s. Okay.
Mid 6s. No, it's good. I would have rather gotten him too. So then we had 0 pitchers. Good for the postseason. Seriously.
Look, this isn't on Cole, man. Get out of here. I don't even think we should break that down at all. I mean, that was the one constant of this.
Right. There's one thing you can take away positive about this, and it's that the guy who we're paying to show up really fucking showed up, man. Like,
he did his part.
And look, who are the 2 highest paid players on the Yankees this season?
Double G, Garrett and Giancarlo.
Yeah. Who were the 2 best players on the Yankees in this postseason?
Garrett Cole and Giancarlo Stanton.
Exactly. So, I mean, like I said, I can't defend. I said this, and I'm going to stick with it. I can't defend Giancarlo Stanton for being a guy that might only play 50 or 60 games in a regular season, but if he's going to go out there and hit 6 fucking home runs in the postseason, which is a Yankee record, by the way, and they only played 7 fucking games, I'll take the 60 games in the regular season.
If fucking Arozarena did that, it would have been plastered on the actual outfield walls.
Do you know the meme from South Park where Stan's dad would, I guess that's ejaculate all over him?
Oh yeah.
So that if that's pretty close to how Brian Anderson got with Randy Arozarena in this
very close, yeah.
So let's look, man. We'll leave our feelings for the end here. We'll go to the fans right now, but I just want to say this. Garrett Cole is the fucking man. He never has to prove anything to me. Yeah, he needs to win a ring 2, 3 with the Yankees for it to really feel like that contract was worth it. But the fact that he walked into Aaron Boone's office on 3 days rest and said, "Give me the fucking ball," gave up one fucking hit in an elimination game, He doesn't have to prove anything to me again.
I fucking
everybody,
dude.
And everybody that wanted this guy ran out of town because he had a bad 3-start stretch in a fucking COVID season. Pull your receipts and quote tweet it and say, "I am a fucking moron."
Mm-hmm.
That's what you should do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So as we wrap up here, and again, we really want to thank everybody for sticking with us. Chris, do you have a read before we get into anything?
No, I didn't even pull it out, to be honest. Support for this fucking episode of the fucking NYYST podcast is brought to you by manscaped.com. Head over to manscaped.com, use promo code NYYST20. It'll save you 20% off your order and free shipping. And I was going to make a really awful joke just now about the razors and my neck and something about my neck. But
we're not gonna.
We do thank Manscaped for supporting the podcast. It's precision support for your family jewels. I think that's how it goes.
It's precision tools for your family jewels. It's got to rhyme.
There you go. Yes, it has to rhyme.
Fucking lawnmower 3.0. You can fucking lawnmower your balls aggressive.
NYYST20. Use it. Save 20%. Get free shipping. I can't recommend these products enough. So yeah, we want to thank our sponsor, Manscaped.com. So let's get to the fan.
Fucking 5-star rating review. Thank you.
Yeah, please do that. Also, we'll say Manscaped is sponsoring this part of the show with the fan vents here. So this is your time to vent. I said drop it below. We'll read them on the show. So let's go here. We'll start with @NatCandelaria24. Says, I know this is I'm just going to keep reading them. If you guys want to react to anything after I read it, just go ahead real quick. I know this is going to sound crazy since the Yankees need another lefty bat. I was thinking trading Voit for another reliever, signing Didi and DJ and putting DJ at first and Glaber back to second. Let me know if you think I'm crazy.
No,
I
don't think fans are crazy at this point. I think the Yankees are fucking crazy.
But what do you think about the notion of trading Luke Voit?
Look, I mean, a lot of people have been saying it, and I'm not going to be against it. If that's what people want, if that's what people think, I mean, we can sit here and go through every player in this fucking lineup, which a lot of them we're going to be doing over our keep them dump them segments. But I mean, regardless of what you think, it's going to be the same result over and over because we keep looking at this as a player level thing. And instead of looking at a bigger picture and saying, why does this keep happening? It's not the players. When the players show up, they win. It is the players, but what I'm saying is it's not the actual way we're constructing our lineups. I don't believe that. I'm not going to believe it because we've seen it. It's a player level to a point of each individual guy not showing up or showing up. And so, yeah, you could trade whoever you want, but until we figure out the reason why these guys decide to show up one day and not the next, which who knows if that's ever a tangible thing, fine. Let's just do whatever at this point. I'm just as frustrated. I don't think anything's stupid at this point.
Well, no, there is one thing that is really stupid, and we'll get to that right as we finish reading the fan comments here. Brammer99 tweets, fire Boone, need to hire a real game manager, let him manage. I'm just going to interrupt you right there. If you think that's happening, you're just delusional, because as long as Cashman's a GM, that will never happen.
Cashman already said expect him to get a long-term deal.
Who, Boone?
Yeah.
When did he say this?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure Flaherty or Jack Curry like dropped the ball and was just like, yeah, he told me he's probably expecting to get that 10-year deal.
All right. So to finish up his comment, with Herman back and maybe Sevy need a second starter, put Ford on a diet or a train out of town. I never want to see Mike Ford ever wear fucking pinstripes again. Diet for Gary too. I don't think Gary's fat. I just think that's a stupid fucking narrative that fans came up with. And that's the one thing I will defend Gary on. Stop that ridiculous knee down, or trade him and get a major league starting catcher. Okay, well, you hate Gary Sanchez. That's what I got out of that.
I'm not.
At DJ Minard Inc. Game 2 was Devy's time to prove himself, yet they only let him have one inning. I mean, I can't really disagree with that.
Yeah, I don't necessarily have to argue that it was his time to prove himself as much as it just was his time. I mean, you're telling him he's getting the ball, and you have a guy warming up who's telling you he's not. It's not an excuse for J-Hap. You're a fucking Major League Baseball player. You got to show up. But he's telling you he's not comfortable coming out of the bullpen. And you're just like, okay, but you're going to.
Now, do you think they didn't start Hap in that game because they were worried that they'd count that game towards his prorated option and they just didn't want to get him a start?
You're fucking screaming.
Who, me?
It doesn't count in the postseason.
I think I was a bit close on that go around there. I'll back up a little bit.
Here we go. This is our boy Ryan at Stadium Status. Fellas, just checking in. Gloria says hi, but with a smirk and a laugh. I'm debating kicking her ass out, but that's for another day. I think it's going to be a quiet off season. I hope that they resign LeMahieu. The comeback will be greater than the setback. Let's fucking go 2021 champs.
Yeah, he's right. I mean, Yankees have one goal, in my opinion. Their one goal is to sign DJ LeMahieu, and I don't care what that takes. Outside of that, I think you are going to have a very quiet offseason. I think the pitching needs to get healthy.
I think quiet in the sense that fans want Boone or Cashman to go, but quiet as in terms of bringing in changes to this team player level. I don't think it's going to be quiet, but
again, I do.
Okay. Well,
but again, now
we'll talk more about that with Joe next week when we break down some of the moves that he came up with.
Right.
Here we go. Don Sicario. We will have a ton of Sevy Herman blah blah talks, but is that the reason for not going for any more arms? A lot of bank off the books this offseason, but again, we were talking about how Hal wants to get under the luxury tax. Will they make some big impact moves? I don't know. I would love to see fucking Trevor Bauer on this team. He was really, him and Cole don't get along, and he was kind of kissing Cole's ass the other night on Twitter.
Look, I think anyone who's not getting along with Garrett Cole is strictly, I mean, we're just talking about competitive level stuff. As a person to person type thing, there's literally no way you can hate Garrett Cole. I mean, let's just be honest about it. There's plenty of guys that I fucking hate on an enemy level because they kill the Yankees, but when they talk or whatever, the respect they show for the game, I love.
Yeah, but it was more about the use and cheating that he kind of went after Cole for, even though I don't think Cole was maybe a part of it. I think that was more along the lines of what Bauer was going with. Garrett
Cole's a sensible, logical person. I think that it would never stop Trevor Bauer from coming to this game, to this team.
All right, so to wrap up what Don Sicario was saying, he says, if Gardy doesn't resign, will we still get the Gardy report?
Oof.
Come on, bro.
Well, I mean, look, if he doesn't resign, there's two options there. Then he's either playing somewhere else or he's retiring. I think if he retires, I think we should push. We're trying to add some staff here. So maybe we can hire him. And look, if he's outside of the American League East, if he's playing in the National League, maybe we could bring him on to kind of give us some updates on what's going on throughout the league. And, I think that he should be back next year, regardless of where he's at.
So at official Stacy says, just dump everybody not named Cole and May or Voigt and start from scratch. And then she got like a googly eyed emoji. So she might have been being facetious, but still, I think that's really where you start.
Yeah.
C Dixon 25, game 2, add any profanity you want. We think we did that already. We'll just give at Hunter F Larson 76 a shout. Martin Michael Toms actually tweeted us the other day that this is only his second year of watching baseball, because I believe he's from the UK, and he said that our show really helped him understand the game. So that's
awesome.
Really just shows your lack of knowledge of baseball if we helped you understand it. But he says, I don't want to vent, but Garrett Cole, wow, looking forward to seeing what type of numbers he puts up with his first full season. Hashtag our ace. We'll give a shout out here to Ramon Cavazos 3. Also, Drian DeCampo says, no venting, just see you all again next year.
No, you got to vent. You can't suppress your feelings.
At Guardy season _ just a shout out for you there. And we'll wrap it up with South Yorkshire Yankee saying, losing by playing your best game with your best players is one thing. Losing by fucking around and with analytics and gimmicks is tougher to swallow. Boone is the fall guy, but he buys into the bullshit. And yeah, I mean, I can't really disagree with anything. Boone's here because he buys into the bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about hitting the nail on the head. That's my biggest gripe with this team and organization, is exactly what was just said.
All right, so I need a minute to breathe, so we'll go around the room. This is your goodbye to the 2020 season. This is your chance to take 3 or 4 minutes, whatever you need here, to just get it out. And then next week we have the unenviable task of looking forward to 2021 and seeing how this team is going to put it together and finally bring home the fucking World Series that we've been waiting for 4 years now. So we'll go to Stat Guy Rye first.
All right. This is about as big, in my opinion, as big a setback for this organization that they've had since I've been a fan, probably, of this team. You know, you break down this series here, and you know, they tried getting cute in game 2 against a team that requires that they need to get cute in order to be the team they are. I mean, this is a team whose payroll is $28 million. That's less than what Garrett Cole would make in a full regular season. So this is a team that needs to get cute in order to achieve success. So you can't go that route. You have to go the Bronx Bomber route and use that roster to beat. You look at how they lost. The guy that delivered that dagger was the guy that was causing fits and it was in the middle of all of the drama between the Rays and the Yankees all year in Brasso. Of course, he's the guy that gets it done, and that just made it that much worse. And now they face a team that's eliminated you from the postseason since 2015. They've gotten you in 2015 in that wild card game. They got you in 2017 in the ALCS. They got you in what was that, last year, right? In the ALCS. The only team that eliminated the Houston Astros was your old Boston Red Sox. So it's like that pecking order of American League teams or Major League Baseball teams, and the New York Yankees just plummeted. And the lore and the luxury and the legend of New York Yankees baseball it might not be dead yet, but it is certainly on life support. It is certainly on its last breaths. And this team is going to need to do something really, really soon if they want to continue to be going forward the New York Yankees, because right now they're not the New York Yankees. They're just the Major League Baseball team. But let's go back next year and let's turn it back around. But that's where I'm at right now.
All right, Chris, you're up.
I think that's really fair. I don't have a lot of words to say, to be honest. I'll tell you right now, I'm 30. I'll be 32 years old this year. And when I talk about being a Yankee fan, you aged twice this year? You aged
2 years in 1
A
year.
leap? Is it a leap year?
You're like, I'm 30 and I'll be 32 in
Oh
December.
no. I was saying I'll be 30. I was saying I am 30. I was going to say 32 and then I switched it to I'll be 32. I say that I've been a Yankee fan for 32 years because I have been my entire life, even when I was in the fucking womb. In my 32 years of being a Yankee fan, I've never been this down on this organization. And I think for me, the biggest disappointment is somewhat of what Stat Guy Rye was just saying. We're talking about a franchise now who, since 2009, has truly just lost its identity. And every year is supposed to be their year. Every year, in and out. I mean, now you fucking get the one thing that everyone in their mother said the Yankees needed, and yet you're still not that team. And obviously that's getting an ace. And you're still not that team that you're expected to be. And it's like, where I'm hurt the most is, guess what? The Yankees found their identity. And it's not a fucking good one. It's not a good one. You can say they were lost and they didn't have an identity for all these years. They were a team that was rebuilding. Oh, they were a team that needed a starting pitcher. Well, guess what? Injuries or not, this team found their identity this year. And it's a team that does not show up. It's a team that continues season after season to not show up. And that's not good. I mean, the Yankees have never had that identity before. We are going on this will be the 12th year now where this team not only hasn't won a World Series, but hasn't even won a pennant. Give me a pennant. They are continuously the team that does not show up. How many game 7s, how many game 5s, how many game 6s are we going to continue to watch this team strike out, not get the big hit? You got a fucking brilliant performance out of a guy on short rest to get you into the 6th inning, giving up only 1 run and 1 hit. And you can't find a way to win to the Tampa Bay Rays? I'm not saying they're not good, but they're not the New York Yankees. They don't have Giancarlo Stanton. They don't have Aaron Judge. They don't have DJ LeMahieu. They don't have Aroldis Chapman and Zach Britton. But how do they do it? What is going on? What is different in the culture of a team like the Tampa Bay Rays than is different in New York? Figure that the fuck out, or else you will continue to hold this identity for years and years to come. Figure out what is different in Tampa Bay that made them better than you than what's going on in the Bronx. And until you can do that, it doesn't matter what players you have on this team. It doesn't matter who's making what moves. Until you can figure that out, every move is the wrong move. Every single one. Until you figure that out. I know, Creed, I agree.
Yeah, Creed's upset. I'm taking this from a different perspective than you guys, because you guys were really talking about.
Because you're an apologist.
I'm not an apologist, you fucking scumbag. You guys are really talking about things that happened on the field. This is my fucking team. I just turned 37 last week. This is my fucking team. This is now. I have now passed this on, even though my daughter's 5 months old. I've now passed this on to a 4th generation. I'm not fucking going anywhere. I cannot, and I get it. Fans are mad. Fans are frustrated. That's why I ignored a lot of really bad takes in the last couple of days. You're mad. You're upset. I get it. I understand it. I'm fucking sick too. But the one thing I'm not is giving up on my fucking team. I'm not doing it. I don't know how to explain it than this shit just runs in my fucking blood. And to think that now I'm at a point in my life where the one thing that I always wanted to do was to share this with my kid, and then I'm going to fucking give up because they can't win. is ridiculous. This is something that I'm ready to pass on to the next generation. And there's somebody in my driveway that's Creed. Come on. We'll just have to deal with the dog barking. This is somebody. This is something
to it.
It totally does.
that this is something I'm ready to pass on to the next generation. That I'm ready to be the dad that's at Yankee Stadium with his kid. I'm ready for that. So anybody that thinks that, you know, it's time to not root for this team because they haven't won in 12 years, go fuck yourself. You were never a real fan to begin with. When you're a fan of something, when this bleeds and runs as deep in your blood as it does mine, it's like being a fucking member of a family. Yeah, you know what? You might have an uncle or a brother that you fight with constantly, but you always take them back because you always see the good in them in the good times. Yeah, it's disappointing, but it's not something you just run away from because that you don't like the outcome. It sucks. I can look in the mirror and say, I'm really fucking disappointed in this team. I'm really fucking sick and tired of the way that they're always missing something. Always missing something. We have the ace now. But now we get to the postseason, the Yankees are short starting pitching. How's that fucking possible? But I can also look in the mirror and say, this is my fucking team, and I'm not going anywhere, and I'm going to fucking stay here until the fucking day that I die and be a fucking fan of this team and ride it for good and bad. And if you're not with me on that, fuck you. And don't listen to my fucking podcast anymore. Because it's fucking sick to my stomach that this fucking team cannot get over the hump. And this is the fourth goddamn year now that we dealt with in 2016. Yeah, Cash, go fucking rebuild and let's go. In 2017, we had the magic carpet ride. And then in 18, 19, and 20 now, disappointment. But you know what? I'm in for more fucking disappointment. It's better than the alternative of sitting on my fucking couch and watching fucking Home and Garden Channel and not being a fan of this fucking team. Because you know what? I got my little girl now, and I want her to feel all the emotions that I feel right now. And some of it might be pain, and some of it is fucking joy, because some of the greatest joys in my life are being a fan of this fucking team. And I can't even explain to you Chris knows how fucking miserable I can be as a person, how unhappy I can be as a person. Does anybody really understand, just even though she's 5 months old and sleeping on my chest, that I have my fucking kid sitting there with me while I'm watching the Yankees, what that means to me? And I'm going to fucking walk away right now? Fuck you. I'm not going anywhere. But that doesn't mean that I'm not fucking furious and mad and I just want to fucking hit somebody because this team can't get over the fucking hump. Let's fucking go. No excuses in 2021. How? I will, if they let us in, I'm going to fucking be there in April, but don't fucking bullshit me that you need to get under the luxury tax. Fucking go spend the goddamn money, because I'm going to be in there supporting the fuck out of you. Reward me now, because we sat through this shit for 4 fucking years, and I don't want to go through another fucking rebuild without fucking hanging a banner on the wall. So let's fucking go.
That was
honestly,
and
I think that was go.
I was just gonna, and B, I agree with you. I mean, if you're trying to fight that you shouldn't be a fan right now, then you're not a fan at all.
Guys, you got to listen to this podcast. I mean, that was the best moment of this podcast for me right there, man. You just, any sort of doubt I had in my mind as a Yankee fan, and any sort of like just unnecessary anger, it all just vanished listening to you right there, Christian. And that's what this is for right here, man. This is the therapy session, and you venting right there just helped me out, helped all our listeners out. Guys, listen to Christian and Chris Jr. over there. These two know what they're talking about, and we're Yankee fans, guys, and we're going to be here. We're here.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
I fucking shaved today, and I'm not shaving until I see Garrett Cole fucking report to spring training, because now it's off season time, and that's just what I do.
Did you escape too?
I did. I did.
Do you let those go?
Today.
Do you let the family jewels go?
That I can't. That's a little too uncomfortable. But,
right. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Just anybody, just listen to the passion in my voice, man. Chris likes to say the Yankee apologist, but this is my fucking team, man, and I'm not going anywhere. And I try to rationalize some of the moves they make because I want them to win, and I want to be on board with what their philosophy is for winning. Because ultimately, the thing I want most is this team to fucking win, and this is the tack they're taking. Nothing I say is going to change the way that they run their team. So I got to try at least to be on board with it. But no excuses now. Go fucking sign Trevor Bauer. Give DJ LeMahieu his fucking contract. Get me another reliable fucking arm in this fucking bullpen, and let's go. I don't want to hear any fucking excuses in 2021.
I agree.
So if there's anything else you guys want to say, if not, then we wrap up the year 2020, the most fucked up season of our lives, with another fucking disappointment. And then next week we'll have Joe Rivera on, and we start looking at 2021. So if there's anything else you want to say, if not, then we'll wrap up the show.
I'm done. I thought you
Good.
brilliantly wrapped everything up.
So I love and appreciate every single one of you that listen to this podcast. I'm sure it's approaching maybe 2 hours, right?
Yes.
But it's our therapy session. We had to dump it out and leave it all on the table. So we love you all, but if you're giving up on this team, as I said, go fuck yourself. This is your team for better or worse.
I do just want to say one thing.
Yeah.
I got this guy over my shoulder here. It's
Yes, we have to say that.
a picture
Rest in peace,
of
Whitey Ford.
Yeah, Whitey Ford, rest in peace, man. You provided so much for this organization, and hopefully we have the next best pitcher on this roster in Garrett Cole to fill those shoes, man. But you held some. I mean, come on, man. You're the greatest Yankee pitcher of all time. That's not that's high praise. So rest in peace.
Yes, rest in peace, Whitey. Rest in peace to the 2020 season. I would have liked to end it with a World Series, but you're dead and buried, and we never have to talk about it again. Although this game 2 will haunt us for fucking ever. But thank you very much for listening to episode 197 of the NYYST podcast. Please follow us on Twitter at NYY Sports Talk. Follow Stat Guy Rye at Stat Guy Rye _NYYST. Follow Chris Jr. at Chris Jr. _NYYST. Follow me at Christian _NYYST. Thank you for listening. Stat Guy Rye.
Go Yanks.
Chris, say goodbye.
Peace.